Hello all and welcome to this, and this is my second attempt at doing this video because the first time I tried to do this video, my neighbors tried to kill each other. So yes, that was not really, I don't know if they were trying to kill each other, but yeah, I was like, what the hell was going on? Anyways, this will be because when I turned off the other video, I'd already gone on a very long time, so this will probably be a long video just to warn everybody. This will be my review of the Wrestle Kingdom 9. A great show. Just off the, if I'm doing this probably while the I think the replay is going, and so hopefully most of you will have seen the show by then. Hopefully not by less than honorable means, we will say. This show looks like it's already one of the most pirated shows in recent memory as far as pro wrestling. Only the WrestleManias and the 2011 Money in the Bank show was more pirated, which kind of angers me because that Money in the Bank 2011 buy rate really pissed me off, because that was a way to really send home to WWE what everybody wanted. That was such a freaking just amazingly awesome show. And yeah, I mean, not that it did a bad buy rate, but it really needed to do a much better buy rate than it did. But that's neither here nor there. So I was hoping before the Dome show that I was going to be able to come on and do a kind of I did a preview video. I wanted to do kind of another video in which I kind of hyped up where to go, where you could learn a lot about New Japan, particularly since one of my favorite sites, which I started going to, I think it was last year around this time, which was voicesofwrestling.com. If you like New Japan, if you like Dragon Gate, if you like Japanese wrestling, if you're a diehard wrestling fan, they mainly do a lot of podcasts, and but they also do reviews and stuff like that too. And it's a very good site. And they did a New Japan 2014 New Japan yearbook for the most part. It's basically your like baseball yearbook with New Japan, with all sorts of stats and reviews and essays and just everything you could ever want to know about New Japan for 2014. I'll put a link in the description. If you are interested at all, if you watch the show and love the show and still don't know anything about New Japan, this is something for you to get. It's an ebook you can download. You can pay whatever you want. So if you don't want to pay anything for it, you don't have to pay anything for it. If you want to give the guys 25 bucks for it, you can give them 25 bucks. If you want to give them literally a dime for it, you can give them a dime for it. Whatever you want to do. But it's definitely worth checking out. I've read through most of it, and I will tell you that, and this is the other reason I wanted to bring it up, Rich, I think he's the guy that actually runs the site. And then there's Joe, and he's the other guy that they're kind of the co-owners of the site. And Joe's a little older. Joe Lanza, he's older. I think he's a little younger than me, but he's kind of my age group and from tape trading and all of that sort of stuff. And Rich is a little younger, and he tells the story, Rich does, in the intro, of how Joe got him to finally watch Japanese wrestling, and he was like, I don't want to watch this, I don't understand it, blah, blah, blah. You know, the same thing that everybody always says about New Japan, Dragon Gate, Noah, whatever. And finally, he did, and he fell in love, and now he loves it. And he got into a love of pro wrestling, and there's all sorts of essays like this from other people as well, like I said, reviews and all sorts of stuff. It's definitely worth checking out. You know, I've been reading through it for the last couple days, and I was hoping, like I said, I wanted to do another preview video kind of talking about that, and also the Matt Stryker Global Force Wrestling preview videos, where he basically broke down and tried to sell people on every single match on the show. And he did a really good job. Did he do a perfect job? Not really, for someone like myself. But for people who have no clue about New Japan and we're just tuning in and don't understand the characters and don't understand the wrestlers and don't understand the feuds and don't understand why the matches are going on, it was a really good job. There really was only 2 complaints, and minor. He got some names wrong, and he said guys' names the way that they haven't said it in forever, and he kind of made up a storyline between Nakamura and Ibushi, but it wasn't like it was like completely out of left field. He just kind of added a little bit more to it than probably what needed to be added to it. But he did an excellent job, and I wanted to come on here and talk about that as well and get people to go. So I might add that stuff, all of that stuff, to this review in the description box. So definitely check out the description box. There's gonna be lots of stuff other than just, you know, my ratings and whatnot. But there is all of that, and I will tell you that you know, I watched the Jones Cormier pay-per-view, and I was kind of upset that Cormier lost, but that's neither here nor there. But you know, I watched that. It ended, and then I had like 45 minutes, so I didn't even sleep. And before on New Japan World, the pre-show, which was the New Japan Rumble, started. So I didn't get any sleep for the most part. Went to sleep as soon as the show went off the air, which I think was 5 o'clock my time. I had to work. I had to be at work at 9:30 this morning. So yeah, I got like no sleep whatsoever. But I will tell you that I was kind of worried I wasn't going to be able to make it. And I can tell you after that show, I was, you know, during that show, I was like hyped. The show went fast and all that stuff, and you've probably heard everyone in the world talk about how great this show was, and it was great. And for someone like me, who, you know, started really expanding my view of pro wrestling, even though I understood there was more outside of, you know, WWE and WCW, and let's see, probably at that point you still had what, you had Global and whatever else was going on whenever I started actually kind of tape trading, or not tape trading, but buying tapes from people. You know, mostly what you bought was, you either bought complete US shows, and then you bought like best of from Japan. And that was filled with a lot of All Japan Women's and other women's wrestling from Japan, and lots of All Japan. And you had some New Japan in there as well. But New Japan was always kind of like the third tier, and was always kind of looked over. A lot of the same way that Dragon Gate today is kind of looked over by people, just because it's just not as popular for whatever reason. However, New Japan probably always put on, other than All Japan Women, put on the better complete show. And even when New Japan or All Japan Women went away, New Japan was putting on these complete, just awesome spectacle shows, and just these awesome things. And even when during the height of the Attitude Era, when New Japan was every bit as strong, to a large degree, they were putting on these great dome matches that were just amazing. And I don't think they get enough credit for that. And then, you know, the 90s hit, and they kind of went through this period. And then, you know, everything has kind of come full circle now, and here we are. And you actually have, if you told me in the 90s that one day we would get New Japan with English commentary in the U.S. live at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and that people would be so excited about it. And I will say, I know Brandon, Instant Classic, talked about the fact on Twitter that you know, he was so happy that people seemed so excited, even people that he knew didn't know much about New Japan, but were just going to order it because if everyone was talking about it to such a degree. And I was the same way. I was like, oh my god, this is just so awesome. I know so many people who signed up for freaking New Japan World, which you know, if you wanted to see, if you haven't seen the show and you want it, definitely watch. Forget this review and just go watch it. It is an awesome, awesome show. And the ways to watch it, of course, were New Japan World, which is like $8.40, I think, in the U.S. Because it's 99 yen, or 9.99 yen. Of course, they had the pay-per-view itself, which if your pay-per-view showed it, like I said, while I'm making this, the replay's on. And then you had the flip sap. The flip saps didn't work out quite as well as it should have. They had an overload. They were not expecting as many people as they got. I think they got like 2,000, maybe even over 2,000 people trying to access the show at one time. They weren't ready for that, and but they were able to get it on. I think it was during the Noah matches where it finally came on. But I got to see these. I got to listen to JR tell the matches I want to do, and then I was able to listen to it again later. So so I got to listen to all of JR and Matt Striker, and they did an excellent job, I think. Just given that you know, JR really wasn't familiar with everybody, but particularly when you got to the co-main events, JR was just definitely on point. He kept getting better as the night went on, and it was really cool. You could just tell he loved the Ishii Makabe match and all of that. But yeah, so that was it. But if you had told me that this was something that could happen, and there they go again. I don't care. As you guys probably can't even hear them. Where was I at? Anyways, doesn't matter. But being able to see this show live and being able to witness all of this and being able to see this, it was just an awesome experience. And being able to be on Twitter and see everyone so excited about this and seeing everybody mark out for stuff that some people didn't even understand what they were marking out for was great. And like I said, I thought Stryker and JR did an excellent job. And I think Stryker, you know, got a lot of people were upset that it was going to be Stryker, but I think Stryker did fine. And all of that, and yeah, and the Flips app does work very well. I will say, it doesn't for whatever reason. I know other people have not had this problem. For whatever reason, when I try to stream it to my TV, it's very choppy. For whatever reason, I can't figure out why, but it's okay. I got a pretty good size tablet, and I was able to watch it on there with no problem. Didn't bother me at all, and so yeah, so just an awesome event. Definitely worth checking out. I've talked about 10 minutes just about everything but the show, so let's actually talk about the show. And by the time most of you see this, if you signed up for New Japan World, do not forget that probably by the time you guys see this, because most people will probably see this tomorrow, New Japan will have up the Kirk and Hall show from tonight, which actually from this morning, if you're in the U.S., which is kind of the Raw after WrestleMania, which sets up everything going into New Beginnings. And so there we go. So anyways, let's talk about this fucking show, because this fucking show was a fucking show and a half. This was awesome. Just you had the New Japan Rumble, or if you saw the translated version, the New Japan Rambo, which everyone kind of got a kick out of when that was, and this was fun. Particularly for someone like me that, you know, has watched, you know, Japanese wrestling for a very long time, because they brought back some big time surprises in the form of legends. And I'm sure a lot of people who were watching this had no idea, particularly if you watched the pre-show, had no idea what any of this was, who some of these people were. But if you were on Twitter and you were like, oh my god, people are freaking out over these guys, who are these guys? You know, it'd be way too hard to explain, but was just a lot of fun. It was not booked well, and I had forgotten this until I heard Dave Meltzer talk about it. But that, you know, you don't see a lot of battle royals type matches in Japan, other than DDT. I think DDT does them on a semi-regular, but they're not taken seriously in all this, and I'm sure they're not really all that know how to book them all that great. But this was fun because of the fact that it was all these legends. They also set it up weird where guys were coming out through the crowds and not down the ramp, and I was like, what the hell is going on, and all this stuff. But because the main people that, if you watch New Japan, you got Nagata, and he started off with Tiger Mask, and we got the Tiger Mask that I wish we would see more of, kind of the kick-ass Tiger Mask. Sometimes he doesn't. He often kind of coasts, I kind of feel, but that's just me. Yoshihashi, Tommy Tonga, Kamatsu, who is a young boy. If you don't know what a young boy is, and you kind of heard, I think if you heard the U.S. version, I know Stryker and JR explained what it was. It's basically, it sounds kind of weird, but when you say young boy, but what that is basically the guys in training, and they're basically setting up the rings, and they're also out there to help the older wrestlers, like during matches, as far as being like seconds out there. You don't really see them, but they're the guys that run in after the match and with the ice packs and all that sort of stuff. So, and that would be Kamatsu and Tanaka, Sho Tanaka. You had Taka Michinoku, you had Jushin Liger, and El Desperado, and they're cleared off. They have a match at the Kirk and Hall show tonight. Taichi, Nakanishi, as I said, Tiger Mask, and Captain New Japan. And then you had these legends that showed up that I'm sure most of you had no idea. You had Hiro Sato, who, for myself, that was cool, as he hit a bunch of sentons, and the fans went crazy because he was hitting sentons. Then you had Fujiwara, who the Fujiwara armbar, that's basically where it comes from. And he was out there old as fuck, but was kicking the shit out of people. And then you had the great Kabuki, who came out with his nunchucks. Some of these guys didn't do a lot. That was fine. Kabuki like spit missed and was disqualified and left, and I was fine with that. He did his spot. That was fine. This was fun. It was not a good match at any match, but this was far more memorable than probably any WrestleMania pre-show match, pre-WrestleMania match, pre-show WrestleMania match that I can remember, to be honest. And I think that says a lot about this match, even though it wasn't any good. And it wasn't like memorable for bad reasons. It was memorable because it was fun, and it was this, and it was that. And I would like to see them do this again at some point. Maybe they should have went to Jeff Jarrett and say, how exactly do we book this? But that's not what they did. But anyways, that was the pre-show match, and then you got the actual live pay-per-view match, which was the junior heavyweight tag team title match of reDRagon, Forever Hooligans, Time Splitters, and the Young Bucks. I really thought this was going to be a lot shorter than what it wound up being, but it was a really good match. Really good match. It wasn't quite as good as the 6-man from Final Battle, which I thought it kind of could be, but there was too many guys, and it was just kind of a little too hectic for that, and they didn't have quite enough time. Though they got more time than I thought they were going to get. You know, the Young Bucks had all of their moves. The Forever Hooligans looked good. reDRagon looked exceptionally good, and they retained, which I'm kind of glad to see, because they just, I don't know, there's something about them that just fits in New Japan. I'm not sure kind of what it is. Time Splitters, of course, they looked good. This was just a really good showcase for all 4 of these teams, and yeah, it was just really good stuff. Then we had the Bullet Club of Bad Luck Fale, Jeff Jarrett, and Yujiro, taking on, that's what happens when I read this stuff, taking on Tenzan, Kojima, and Honma. I had said in my pre-match that I thought that, or my preview, that I thought that Honma would get the win here, and he did, and he hit the headbutt, and that made this so much better. And for those people that had no idea who any of these people were except for Jeff Jarrett, they probably didn't get it at all, but for those of us who've watched New Japan for a while, particularly the G1, and then you watched this, and you saw Honma get the win, and you saw the crowd really pop and get excited and all of this stuff, was really good. Very short match, but it was one of those matches that was short, served a purpose. It served its purpose. The booking was really good. You got the Honma win, which the crowd loved, and so you had a moment. You had one of those WrestleMania-esque moments that we don't always, that WrestleMania sometimes doesn't get, and so you had your Wrestle Kingdom moment. So there you go, and it was a lot of fun. Again, for those of us that follow, for people who don't follow New Japan, this was probably just kind of a so-so match. For those of us that follow New Japan, this was a match that was a lot of fun. So there you go. Then you had the Noah match, which was, well, really the Yano versus Iizuka match, which was Yano, Shane Haste, Marufuji, and Mikey Nicholls taking on Davey Boy Smith Jr., Lance Archer, Shelton Benjamin, and Iizuka. This was basically a way to showcase the Noah guys, particularly Mikey Nicholls and Shane Haste, because they apparently look like they're going to be feuding with Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer, which should be fairly awesome. If you watch this match, you saw hints of it. Match itself was okay. It was very short. These 2 matches here were short. You could tell they were trying to rush through things. We didn't get a lot of the throughout the night. In fact, we didn't get a lot of the spectacular intros. Like last year, the intros for the wrestlers were actually, I thought, better than the ones at WrestleMania. And we got almost none of that. I think we got really just one with Nakamura, but that I can remember. And I guess Tanahashi and Okada kind of got big entrances, but everyone else just kind of got that, which kind of surprised me because I thought they had enough time to do that, but they didn't. So, but anyways, match didn't go very long. Marufuji got the win, which he should have, because he's the Noah champion. Just a fun little match that served its purpose, and I'm sure we will see probably more out of this tonight from the Korean Hall show. So then we got the UWFI rules match, which I'm sure a lot of American fans that watched this had no clue what this was about. But UWFI was a, in a lot of ways, I know this sounds very strange, modern MMA owes a lot of itself to UWFI. And UWFI was still, it was not a shoot promotion. It was a work shoot promotion where it was very stiff. They worked a very specific style that made it look very real, like ultra real style. And both Suzuki and Sakuraba were part of this. Sakuraba, of course, the MMA legend, the Gracie Killer. Suzuki was an okay MMA guy, and then came back to pro wrestling, is now kind of a big deal. And it was, and they built up this feud, and it was Suzuki versus Sakuraba. This was another match where it was just a lot of fun. Suzuki came out in his old UWFI. Was it UWFI or Pancrest? That was UWFI. White trunks. He even dyed his hair to match everything, so he looked really cool. Sakuraba looked like 1,000 years old when he came out until the match started, and then you're like, oh my god. And they went right away. They started chain wrestling. They started kind of doing this, you know, worked grappling stuff that looked really good, and then they got stiff kicks and stiff arms and just stiff stuff. Sakuraba, they went to the outside, which seemed kind of weird until you saw exactly what happened, and Sakuraba got Suzuki in an armbar, and because it was outside, he couldn't win, and so the referee's telling him to take it back to the ring, and then Suzuki's selling his arm like it's broke, and then they get back to the ring, and Sakuraba's kicking the shit out of his arm, and it's just, oh, it was so... This was so awesome. A lot of people were not looking forward to this match, and I was just, this is the match. I was like, I don't understand, because this is what the match was going to be. This was so great, and I love this. And pretty much from this point on, this show was spectacular. Is probably not amazing. Might not even be the word for this. As good as this show was. Then we got the never openweight championship. Another extremely stiff match right after that match. Ishii and Makabe, like I said, JR went crazy for this match. JR actually did really good on the previous match too, of really putting over just how big of a match that was. And this was just two dudes just beating the living fuck out of each other. That's the only thing I can say. Just, oh my god, I was shocked. Makabe won. Hopefully, that means Ishii's either going to get his shoulder fixed and come back and hopefully, you know, maybe go on to bigger and better things than the Never Championship. But we will see. Just an awesome, stiff, just amazing headbutts and lariats and just punches and forearms and just everything I thought this match was going to be. This match was. So I was completely just amazed with it. Then after those two matches, you had Taguchi and Kenny Omega. I'm not the biggest Taguchi guy, and I like Kenny Omega a lot. I didn't care. This match was good. It just wasn't as great as everything else on this match and so on the show, and so it kind of did not feel as good as it probably actually was. Kenny Omega really just, this was kind of like the Kenny Omega coming out, even though he was part of the Bullet Club, and this was, I think this was, well, I guess in the sixth man you saw some Bullet Club-esque antics, but nothing really great. And really throughout the show you didn't really see a lot of the Bullet Club antics. You saw a little bit here as the Young Bucks came out with Kenny Omega, and they interfered a little bit, but nothing like you normally see. And everyone pretty much knew Taguchi was going to lose this anyways to Kenny Omega. And so the match went probably a little longer than where it probably should have because of that, in my opinion. But still, it was a very good match, or not a very good, it was a good match. And the ending was really good. But it just kind of felt there, and I think it was because it was put in a kind of a bad spot. Then we had the Bullet Club of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson taking on Goto and Shibata. This I liked a lot. This was kind of weird because it was basically Goto was the babyface in peril throughout the whole match, and then Shibata would be the babyface who came in, who tried to save Goto, and would keep getting cut off and keep getting cut off. And you know, this was probably Doc Gallows' best match in New Japan. And I know that's not saying a lot, but this was just really, really good on his part. It was a very different Shibata match. It wasn't Shibata just kicking the shit out of everybody. It was Shibata, he would start to kick the shit out of everybody and then would get cut off. And so it was kind of different, and that was kind of cool. And you know, now you have Goto and Shibata won the match. They're the new tag team champions, which is good. Hopefully, I guess we'll probably see where it goes from here. But just a lot. It's unfortunate that so many people got to see New Japan, and Shibata, who is one of, you know, Ishii and Shibata are the two guys that most people really just rave about, other than Okada and Tanahashi and Nakamura. And yeah, and so it's unfortunate he didn't get a better kind of just introduction to, but that's a whole different issue to the American fans. But I like this a lot, so there you go. Then we got AJ Styles versus Naito. This was great. They basically told the story of that AJ, that the Styles Clash was the most dangerous move in pro wrestling. And they set that up, and then they went out there and they had this great match in which they kept teasing the Styles Clash, and then the most dangerous